Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Commodities Update video. And today we'll be updating you guys on natural gas. And today we'll take a UNG as well as oil, US dollar, gold, and silver. We'll be looking at their support and resistance levels and potentially play off of, as well as the most likely scenario price will be heading into later next week. And if you guys learn anything, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. All right, let's get started. So natural gas currently is still tightening up. Not that much going on at this moment. Pretty much we have tested this 1.65 support for multiple times, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tested again on Friday, and we didn't hold above it, but getting pretty darn close to potentially breaking. We'll see if the bulls can gap up or down on Monday. It's going to be pretty key here. If we do gap up, I'm looking potentially closer to this 1.7 range. And if we break this 1.7 range, then we are looking to closer to 1.77. And if we can break that, then we might look for potentially closer to 1.8 to closer to $2. But that's still quite a bit away. So let's get step one first, break above this, pretty much out of this tiny range, this level. You can see we've just been kind of like chopping within it, getting pretty tight. And so far, bulls are holding, but we're just literally above it, the support. So we need to pretty much gap up. Otherwise, it's kind of like if we gap down, there's nothing left underneath us except this little blip, right? If we gap down, and let's see how many percent is that? About 2.5%. So all the volume is about within 1.87%. You can see there's some volume here, just a little bit. Below that, just this one candle. So that's not going to really do anything, acting as support or anything like that. So if we do gap down and go below, and pretty much if we don't bounce from here, like around this 1.6 zone, then it's probably might have another leg down from there. Also looking a little bit like a falling wedge over here, kind of like that. So we'll see if we can break out of this bull. That would be a good sign. Overall, on a daily time frame, it's still a bear flag. See, and over here, see that big drop. And over here, never gotten above 0.382, so still a bear flag. Because of this, from top of the move to the bottom move, we only bounce close to 35%. So it's kind of still bear flagging. So if we do bounce again, and then kind of just chop around this zone, it's just going to continue to bear flag. Unless we break above these levels where we break above 1.765. So that would be the most ideal scenario for bulls. And we may potentially get more follow through from the upside if that happens. Weekly is still also in the bear flag. So a lot of bear flags at this moment. So burden on the bulls still. Every burden is currently on bull side. And I would say we're probably breaking pretty darn close to the end of the pattern. It's pretty much as tight as it gets. You guys can see every day we literally just drop in the morning, and then you just get it like a small bounce, and then we drop again, and it just gets, yeah, it's pretty much end of the pattern here. Big move over on Monday for sure. Overnight on Sunday night, it will gap up or gap down. Pretty darn big because of this pattern is pretty much at the end of its tiny range. So sit tight, and we'll see what Sunday tomorrow brings, and it'll be pretty interesting. All right, UNG. UNG is currently similar idea, getting pretty darn tight. See this tiny range as well. Overall, I want to see us at least break above this teal looking line, which is the hourly EMA12. Every time we're above it, we kind of just chop around and came back down. Ideally, we get an hourly uptrend confirm. We can get more follow through potentially up to this 15.76 level. Currently, you can see we don't really confirm trends. Big bounce, 6%, no hourly uptrend. Give it all back. Same thing over here, big bounce, give it all back. Big bounce, give it all back. We almost did confirm our trend here. Big move up, hourly trend pull back, little pop, slightly break above here, but absolutely zero follow through, just like a little blip. So I don't count that as an hourly uptrend. we had rocketed through here and went above like that, that would be to confirm hourly uptrend, and we would likely potentially test the 16 range right here. But that did not happen, so we'll be looking to see if maybe you'll get something over here when we break out of that tiny range, pick you up, get an hourly uptrend, very minimum. Pretty much the most minimum thing I want to see is an hourly uptrend for bulls to potentially even shift anything on the daily charts. At this moment, there's nothing. So give me an hourly uptrend, then I'm looking closer to this teal looking line, which is a daily time frame on the 12 EMA. Also, same thing as the resistance for nat gas futures, daily time frame 12 EMA. See, we have rejected there for 4 times already, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rejections, and likely when we come back up here, it's gonna probably act as by resistance. So if we're gonna break that, what it will look like is we will come up, reject from it slightly, and we'll only pull back maybe like 10 to 30%, and then we'll break it. Versus over here, when we touch it, reject from it, give it all back. We don't want to see something like that. What we want to see is come up, test it, just a slight pullback where bulls have are still in striking distance, and then on the next move up, we break that. That's the ideal scenario. If that happens, we'll also break this for UNG as well. It's 15.7 and higher if that happens. So we'll see. So pretty much 12 EMA, very key here on the daily chart. And let's see which way that tiny range breaks. All right, let's take a look at oil. So oil is currently just finding its way. See if it wants to break below this, back into this long-term range, or it's staying above it. So you can see it's the long-term picture here: resistance, 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 support, 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 and now we're just back testing it. So bulls are pretty much back testing, break out of the resistance, currently back testing, and they're just deciding if they want to back below or not. Currently bouncing off of it twice already for on Thursday and Friday. So if this bounces and then comes back below like that, that's a daily downtrend confirmed, because you can see it move down. With it being said, and if we just break below the prior low, that's a daily downtrend confirmed, then we're likely coming back down to 73.42. But if this continues to bounce back, no red flags. As long as it holds above this uptrend, daily uptrend, then there's no red flags at this moment. I would say this is even a healthy pullback to back test. So now, nothing to worry about for the bulls until if we do break this Thursday's low, then I would start to, that'll be a red flags for the bulls, because that'll be a daily downtrend confirmed, and that'll be a bull break lacking follow through, and then coming back below the resistance again. All right, US dollar, 2 days of skyrocketing after policy on Wednesday, the FOMC. So, and we're looking at close to, this level 104. I talked about where this level on Thursday, Thursday, where we're likely coming up to here. And if we break that, we're probably coming up to closer to 104.7. There's like a big tiny range here as well. Move up, move down, tightening up. So we'll see if this breaks above this high, then that's tiny range is done. But at this moment, let's see. So we'll see if it tightens up continues. But if this breaks above 104.9, then we're looking for go to the weekly charts. We're looking for a weekly uptrend. Then that may potentially shape up a more upside for the dollar. So if this breaks above right there, this 105 level, then that's a weekly uptrend confirmed. Then we may start looking at this 105.6 range. But we'll see if that happens. If that rejects from there, then tightening range continues. Going like that. We'll see. Probably test it probably Monday or Tuesday. All right, gold. So yeah, I mean, bull flag confirmed, lacking follow through because US dollar had 2 strong days. We're pulling them back again. This may form a potential head and shoulders here. And if we bounce here a little bit and then just rolls over, that's a confirmed head and shoulders. That means it's a uptrend into a downtrend on the daily time frame. If that happens, that means we're back below this long-term resistance. Then I'm looking back down potentially back to maybe 2081, depending on how strong. If the dollar breaks out on this weekly time frame, breaking above here, we're probably going to come down to 2081 zone over here, this blue line. But if the dollar ends up not breaking above this high and starts tightening up again, then gold has a chance to potentially chop around here and see if we can consolidate around this level. Or more supports. So now we're still above the 12 EMA, so we should have bounced off it 3 times. Try to bounce off it a little bit here, and backtesting this resistance now becoming support. So as long as we hold above that, gold are still okay. But we just want to be mindful that even if it bounces from here, that may shape up a potential head and shoulders. If we break above this high, then no signs of reflex. Or same thing, 2 days of weakness after a bounce. Now we're just looking for big picture. Black line, same thing. We know where it's going to be traded. So resistance, resistance, resistance. Another, pretty much 6 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5-ish times. Not saying we're going to come down all the way here. But, if the dollar continues to be strong, it breaks that weekly trend, then we're probably going to come down to 23.72, this level, which is prior strong support here. If the dollar ends up tightening into a tiny range, that means it's going to not break out, and silver will have a chance to retest this resistance black line again. It's a big wedge, and we'll see about which way it goes. As of now, no huge red flags, but it's also a potential head and shoulders might shape up here because of this big draw. Although we kind of already break the neckline, so that's not really a picture perfect head and shoulders, but the idea of it is a uptrend into a downtrend. Now we don't have a pivot yet, so we can't. Needs a slight bounce above Friday's high and then go below Friday's low for it to be a downtrend. Still a lot of steps before it happens. As of now, currently we're in a neutral trend because this was an uptrend, and then now we broke below the pivot, so it's just in a neutral trend. A big picture, we know where silver is going to be traded within this tiny wedge. All right, that's all I got for you guys. If you guys learned anything, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And there's a 15-minute free call on the calendar link below. Feel free to book that if you guys are wanting to learn better your tradings, as well as feel free to support the channel in the Patreon link. And for any one-on-ones as well, take a look. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday for more updates. Have a good rest of you guys' weekend.